I walked across that stage alone. Columbia University, one of the most prestigious institutions in the world. The culmination of 6 years of sleepless nights, part-time jobs, scholarships I fought tooth and nail for, and sacrifices that aged me beyond my 24 years. I should have been floating. I should have been crying tears of joy. Instead, I was scanning the audience with desperate eyes, searching for faces that promised they would be there. Faces that swore nothing could keep them away. But all I saw were empty seats. 4 empty seats in a row with my family's name on the reservation cards, reserved for people who chose not to show up. Because while I was receiving my diploma in biomedical engineering, while my professors were shaking my hand and calling me one of the brightest minds they'd ever taught, my family was somewhere else, doing something else, with someone else. And when I finally held that degree in my trembling hands, standing under those bright lights with thousands of people cheering around me, I had never felt more alone in my entire life. My name is Victoria Chen, and this is the story of how I gave everything to become someone extraordinary, only to realize that the people who were supposed to love me most never cared at all. Growing up in the Chen household, there were always 2 very different worlds. There was Emma's world, my younger sister, where everything sparkled and everyone paid attention. And then there was mine, the invisible one, where achievements were expected and acknowledgement was optional. Emma was the baby, the princess, the one who could do no wrong even when she did everything wrong. She dropped out of community college after 1 semester because she needed to find herself. She quit 4 different jobs in 2 years because her managers didn't understand her creative spirit. She lived at home rent-free at 22 years old, spending her days on social media and her nights at parties funded by our parents' credit cards. And my parents? They treated her like she was made of glass, like she needed constant protection and endless support and infinite chances to figure out her life. But me? I was the responsible one. The one who got a full ride to Columbia because I spent my high school years studying until my eyes burned. The one who worked 3 jobs during undergrad to cover living expenses because you got a scholarship, Victoria, you can handle the rest. The one who published research papers and won academic awards and made the dean's list every single semester, and my parents would say, "That's nice, honey," before immediately turning their attention back to Emma's latest drama. I learned early that my success was invisible, expected, boring. But Emma's struggles? Those required family meetings, emotional support, financial bailouts, and endless patience. I told them about my graduation 6 months in advance. Sent them the official invitation with the Columbia crest embossed in blue and gold. I called them once a month with reminders. "Mom, Dad, graduation is in May. You need to book flights soon. New York gets expensive during graduation season." My mother would always say the same thing. "Of course we'll be there, sweetheart. We wouldn't miss it for the world." My father would add, "My daughter, graduating from Columbia. I tell everyone at work, we're so proud." And I believed them. God, I believed them. Because why wouldn't I? This was the biggest moment of my life. The culmination of everything I had worked for. The validation that all those sacrifices meant something. 3 months before graduation, I called again. "Mom, did you book the hotel?" There was a pause on the line. "Oh, Victoria, about that. Emma's going through something right now. She broke up with her boyfriend, and she's really devastated. We're trying to be there for her." I felt my stomach tighten. "Okay, but you're still coming to my graduation, right?" Another pause. "Of course. Don't be silly. We just need to make sure Emma's okay first. You understand." I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask why Emma's breakup from a 3-month relationship was more important than my graduation from one of the best universities in the world. But I didn't. I just said, "Okay, Mom. Just please don't forget." 2 months before graduation, my father called. Rare occurrence. He usually let my mother handle the kid stuff, as he called it. "Victoria, quick question. How much do you think flights and hotels cost for graduation week?" My heart sank so fast I thought I might be sick. "Dad, you haven't booked yet?" He sighed. "Well, Emma's been talking about this influencer retreat thing in Los Angeles. Some kind of social media workshop. She thinks it could really help her career." I closed my eyes. What career, Dad? She doesn't have a job. His voice got defensive. She's building her brand, Victoria. You wouldn't understand. You're more traditional. But Emma needs support right now. She needs to know we believe in her. I felt something crack inside me. And what about me? Don't I need support? He was quiet for a moment. Then, in that maddeningly calm voice that always made me feel like I was being unreasonable, he said, "You're doing fine, Victoria. You're graduating from Columbia. You're going to be successful no matter what.
Emma needs us more right now.
You're strong. You've always been so independent. You'll be okay." That word, independent. They always used it like it was a compliment, like I should be grateful to be the child they could ignore. But what it really meant was, you don't need us, so we're going to give everything to the child who does. 1 month before graduation, I called my mother in tears. I had just finished a brutal exam week, hadn't slept more than 3 hours a night, and I was emotionally exhausted. "Mom, please tell me you booked the flights. Please." Silence. The kind of silence that confirms your worst fears before a single word is spoken. "Sweetheart, we need to talk." My chest tightened. I knew what was coming. Emma found this amazing opportunity. There's a content creator conference in Miami the same weekend as your graduation. It's a huge deal for her. All the big influencers will be there. This could change her life. I couldn't breathe. My graduation is the same weekend. My voice was shaking. "I know, honey, but this is really important for Emma. She's finally found something she's passionate about. We can celebrate your graduation when you get home. We'll take you out to a nice dinner."
You understand, right?
You've always been so understanding. Understanding. That's what they called it when I swallowed my pain and pretended it didn't hurt. When I made myself smaller so Emma could take up more space. When I accepted being second choice, third choice, no choice at all. "Mom, I've been reminding you about this for 6 months. 6 months." My voice cracked. And Emma decides 3 weeks ago that she wants to go to Miami, and suddenly my graduation from Columbia doesn't matter? Her tone shifted, got defensive. "Don't be dramatic, Victoria. We're not saying it doesn't matter. We're saying we can celebrate later. You're 24 years old. You don't need us there the way Emma needs us for this opportunity. You're stable. You're successful. Emma is still finding her way." I felt tears streaming down my face. Hot, angry, heartbroken tears. What about what I need? What about the fact that I worked myself to exhaustion for 6 years to get here? What about the fact that I've never asked you for anything, never caused problems, never demanded attention, and the one time I ask you to show up for me, you choose Emma's party in Miami? It's not a party, Victoria. It's a professional conference. My mother's voice was sharp now, annoyed, like I was the one being unreasonable. "And frankly, I'm disappointed in your attitude. Your sister needs support right now. She's struggling to find her path. You found yours. You're fine." I wiped my tears. "You're right, Mom. I am fine. I'm so fine that you don't need to come to my graduation at all."
She sighed.
"Victoria, don't be like this." But I had already hung up. I didn't answer their calls for the next 3 weeks. Every time my phone buzzed with Mom or Dad on the screen, I let it go to voicemail. I didn't want to hear more excuses. Didn't want to be told again that I was strong and independent and fine, as if those were reasons to be neglected. I threw myself into final exams, thesis defense, graduation preparations. I moved through those last weeks of college in a fog of grief and rage, mourning the family I thought I had while preparing to walk across that stage alone. Graduation day arrived. I woke up in my small apartment near campus at 5 in the morning.
Couldn't sleep.
My roommate Jessica had already left the night before to meet her family at their hotel. I could hear laughter in the hallways as other graduates reunited with parents, siblings, grandparents. I sat on my bed in my cap and gown, staring at my phone, and part of me, some stupid, hopeful part of me, thought maybe they changed their minds. Maybe they realized. Maybe they were on their way. I checked my messages. Nothing. Checked my email. Nothing. Then I opened Instagram, and there it was. A photo posted 2 hours ago. Emma, my parents, and my older brother Marcus, who I'd barely mentioned because he moved to Seattle years ago, and we hardly spoke. All of them, on a beach in Miami, tanned and smiling. Tropical drinks, palm trees. The caption from Emma, living my best life with my favorite people. So grateful for a family that always supports my dreams. Red heart palm tree sparkles. My mother had commented, so proud of you. Baby girl, you deserve this. My father had liked the photo. Marcus had commented, best family trip ever. I stared at that photo until my vision blurred. They were all there, together, having the time of their lives. While I sat alone in New York, about to graduate from Columbia University, and not a single one of them thought I was worth showing up for. I turned off my phone, put on my cap, straightened my gown, and walked to graduation with tears already dried on my face because I'd cried them all out hours before. The ceremony was beautiful. Thousands of graduates in blue and gold, parents crying tears of joy, families holding signs and banners. The energy was electric, celebratory, full of love and pride. And I sat in my assigned seat in the engineering section, surrounded by people hugging their families, and felt like I was watching a movie I wasn't part of. When they called my name, Victoria Chen, Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Engineering, summa cum laude, I walked across that stage with a smile I didn't feel, shook the dean's hand, received my diploma, turned to wave at the audience like everyone else was doing, and saw my 4 empty seats, for physical reminders that I didn't matter enough. After the ceremony, Jessica found me. Her eyes were red from crying happy tears, her family surrounding her, and when she saw me standing alone, her face fell. Victoria, where's your family? I forced a smile. They couldn't make it. Her mother, a kind woman I'd met several times, looked horrified. What do you mean they couldn't make it? This is your graduation from Columbia. I shrugged, trying to hold it together. They had something else. It's okay. But it wasn't okay. Jessica's mother hugged me. This stranger's mother hugged me tighter than my own mother had in years and whispered, I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. What you accomplished is extraordinary. And I broke. Right there in the middle of hundreds of celebrating families, I broke down crying in the arms of someone else's mother because mine chose a beach vacation over me. I went home 2 weeks later. Drove the 3 hours from New York to our house in New Jersey with my diploma in a frame on the passenger seat. When I walked through the door, Emma was on the couch scrolling through her phone. She looked up, smiled casually. Oh, hey, Vic. When did you get back?
Is zegt her.
Today. She nodded, already looking back at her phone.
Cool.
That was it.
No congratulations. No acknowledgement.
Nothing. My mother came out of the kitchen.
Victoria.
You're home. She hugged me briefly. How was graduation? I stepped back. You tell me, Mom. You weren't there. Her face tightened. Victoria, please don't start. We talked about this. I laughed. Actually laughed. A bitter, hollow sound.
No, you talked.
You told me Emma's influencer conference was more important than my graduation from one of the best universities in the world. You told me I was fine and strong and didn't need you there. My father walked in from the garage. What's all this noise? I turned to him. I graduated, Dad. 2 weeks ago.
Summa cum laude.
Top of my class. Research published in 3 academic journals. Job offers from 5 different biotech companies. And none of you were there. He sighed. Looked annoyed. Victoria, we've been over this. Emma needed us. You're successful. You don't need constant validation. I felt my hands shaking. Constant validation? I have never asked you for anything. I paid my own way through college. I worked myself to exhaustion. I sacrificed everything. And the one time I asked you to show up, you chose Emma's party. Emma finally looked up from her phone. It wasn't a party. It was a professional development opportunity. I spun toward her. You're 22 years old with no job, no degree, and no ambition beyond posting selfies. And they flew to Miami to support you while I graduated alone from Columbia. Do you have any idea how humiliating that was? watching every single other person hug their families while I stood there by myself? She rolled her eyes. God, Victoria, stop being so dramatic. It's not like graduation is that big of a deal. You already had your diploma. It's just a ceremony. The room went silent. Even my parents looked uncomfortable. I stared at my sister, this entitled, spoiled child who had everything handed to her and still demanded more, and something inside me died. Not with anger, not with rage, with acceptance, with clarity. You're right, Emma, I said quietly. It's not a big deal. Nothing about me has ever been a big deal to this family. I looked at my parents. You raised me to believe that if I worked hard enough, achieved enough, succeeded enough, I would finally be worth your attention. But I was wrong. There's nothing I could ever do that would make you see me. Because you don't want to see me. You want me to be invisible, so you can focus all your energy on Emma. My mother's eyes filled with tears. Manipulative tears. The kind she always used when she was about to make herself the victim. How can you say that? We love you. We're proud of you. I picked up my diploma from where I'd set it on the entry table. Then why weren't you there? Why didn't you book flights? Why didn't you care? She opened her mouth, but no words came out because there was no good answer. My father tried. Victoria, you're being unfair. We've always supported you. I laughed again. That same bitter laugh. Supported me? You gave Emma thousands of dollars for her brand. You paid for her trips, her lifestyle, her endless failed ventures. You gave Marcus money to start his business in Seattle.
What did you give me?
Permission to succeed on my own. And you called it independence. The front door opened. Marcus walked in, apparently in town visiting. He saw me holding my diploma, saw the tension in the room, and grimaced. Bad time? I looked at my older brother, who I used to be close with before he moved away, and stopped calling. Perfect time, actually. Tell me, Marcus, why weren't you at my graduation? He shifted uncomfortably. I was in Miami with the family. Emma's thing. I nodded. Emma's thing. Of course. Did you even think about me? Did it even cross your mind that maybe, possibly, your sister graduating from Columbia was more important than a beach vacation? He looked defensive. Mom said you were fine with it, that you understood. I turned to my mother. You told them I was fine with it? She wrung her hands. I didn't want everyone to be upset. You were being difficult about it. Difficult. There was that word again. Difficult. Like setting boundaries was a character flaw. Like wanting to be loved was unreasonable. I walked toward the door. Where are you going? My mother asked. Back to New York. I have a job starting in 2 weeks. An apartment I'm moving into. A life I built without any of you. My father's voice rose. Victoria, you're overreacting. Families disagree sometimes. You can't just leave because your feelings are hurt. I turned around slowly. My feelings aren't hurt, Dad. My feelings are gone. Because I finally understand that this family doesn't value me. You value what I can do for you. How I make you look. The fact that you can tell people your daughter graduated from Columbia without actually having to show up and support me through it. But me as a person, my feelings, my needs, those have never mattered. Emma stood up, phone still in her hand. You're really going to be like this? We're family. I looked at her. Really looked at her. This girl who had everything and appreciated nothing.
No, Emma.
Your family. I'm the person who exists to make you look good by comparison. I walked out, got in my car, and drove away from that house with no intention of ever going back. My mother called 17 times that night. I didn't answer. She left voicemails crying, saying I was tearing the family apart, that I was being selfish. My father sent texts saying I was immature and needed to get over myself. Emma posted on social media about how hard it is when family members create drama for attention. And I blocked all of them. 3 weeks passed. I moved into my new apartment in Manhattan. Started my job at a leading biotech research firm. Made friends with my coworkers. Built a routine that didn't include checking my phone for messages from people who never really saw me. And slowly, painfully, beautifully, I started healing. Started understanding that their neglect wasn't about my worth. It was about their inability to see past their favorite child. I joined a support group for adults with narcissistic families. Heard stories that mirrored mine. Realized I wasn't alone. Realized I wasn't crazy. Then one evening, exactly 4 weeks after I'd left, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello. It was my mother's voice.
Victoria?
Oh, thank God. You finally answered. I didn't respond. Victoria, sweetheart, we need to talk. It's important. I waited. It's Emma's birthday next month. She's turning 23. We're throwing her a party. A big one. She deserves it after everything she's been through. I closed my eyes. Of course. Of course this was why she was calling. And my voice was cold. My mother's tone shifted. Became nervous. Well, the thing is, we've already spent quite a bit on Emma this year. The Miami trip was expensive. And your father's business has been slow. So we're a little short on funds for the party. I felt ice spread through my veins. And you're calling me why? She laughed nervously. Well, you have that fancy new job. And we thought maybe you could help contribute. Just a few thousand. Emma wants it at this beautiful venue, and I hung up. Didn't let her finish.
Didn't yell.
Didn't cry. Just ended the call. She called back immediately. I declined it. She called again. I blocked the number. Then my father called from his phone. I answered. If you're calling about money for Emma's party, the answer is no. His voice was sharp. Victoria, this is family. Family helps each other. I laughed. A real, genuine laugh. Family helps each other? Where was the family when I needed help paying for textbooks? When I was working 3 jobs to afford food? When I was having panic attacks from stress during finals? You told me I was independent, that I could handle it. So I did. I handled it alone. And now you want thousands of dollars for Emma's birthday party after you all skipped my graduation? He was quiet. Then, that's different. Those 2 words. That's different. The words that summarized my entire childhood. Emma's needs were important. Mine were different. You're right, Dad, I said calmly. It is different. Because I'm not giving you a single cent.
Not now.
Not ever. If you want to fund Emma's lifestyle, that's your choice. But don't call me again asking for money to finance the daughter you actually love. He exploded. How dare you? We gave you everything. I stayed calm.
Cold.
You gave me nothing but the message that I wasn't enough. That no matter what I achieved, I would never be as important as Emma. And you know what? I'm done trying to prove my worth to people who will never see it. I'm done being the backup child, the afterthought, the one who's fine because acknowledging that I'm not fine would require you to actually care. I could hear my mother crying in the background. Victoria, please, don't do this. We're your family. I took a deep breath.
No.
You're Emma's family. I'm just the daughter who raised herself. And I'm finally okay with that. Because I don't need you anymore. I hung up, and this time I blocked both their numbers. Emma tried next, sending me a long text about how I was ruining her birthday, how selfish I was, how she couldn't believe I would abandon the family over something so petty.
I didn't respond. Just blocked her too.
Marcus called last. Vic, come on. They're really upset. Can't you just help with the party? It's not that much money. I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. Marcus. They missed my graduation from Columbia for Emma's beach vacation. And now they want me to fund her birthday party. Can you really not see how insane that is? He sighed. I know they screwed up with the graduation thing. But they're trying. They love you. I felt tears finally come. Not sad tears. Angry ones. If they loved me, they would have been there. If they loved me, they wouldn't ask me for money after everything they've put me through. If they loved me, they would have called to apologize, not to ask for cash. This isn't about the party, Marcus. This is about a lifetime of being invisible. He was quiet. Then, I'm sorry, Vic. I'm sorry I wasn't there either. I should have been. Those words, the only genuine apology I'd gotten from anyone. Thank you, I whispered. But I can't do this anymore. I can't keep sacrificing myself for people who won't sacrifice anything for me. I need to choose myself now. He understood. I get it. I'm sorry it took me this long to see it. We hung up.
And I cried.
Not for what I lost, but for what I finally found. Myself. 6 months later, I was thriving. My research was being recognized. I'd been promoted, made real friends who celebrated my wins and supported me through losses. Started dating someone kind who thought my intelligence was attractive, not intimidating. I'd built a life I was proud of. A life that didn't include people who made me feel small. Then I got a message from Jessica, my college roommate. She'd stayed in touch with some people from her hometown. Victoria, I heard your sister's party was a disaster. Apparently your parents couldn't afford the venue she wanted. They had to cancel the whole thing. Emma threw a fit and isn't speaking to them. Your mom's been telling everyone you abandoned the family. Thought you should know. I read that message sitting in my beautiful apartment with its view of the city, wearing clothes I bought with my own money, surrounded by success I earned alone. And I felt nothing.
No satisfaction. No revenge.
Just peace. Because that family drama wasn't my problem anymore. I wasn't responsible for their dysfunction. Wasn't obligated to fund their favoritism. I had graduated from Columbia.
Summa cum laude.
Built a career. Created a life worth living. All without them. And that was the real victory. Not revenge. Not proving them wrong. But proving to myself that I was always enough. That I didn't need their validation to be extraordinary. I already was. I walked across that stage alone. But I walked into my future surrounded by people who actually showed up. And that made all the difference.